Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is something I've never done before on this channel. I have a second channel, by the way, called The Tech Diary. If you haven't checked that out yet, guys, there's a link down in the description. But on this main channel, we review phones and laptops and all sorts of stuff. We do it in quite an edited and polished fashion. Some people may disagree with that, but it's pretty produced. I just didn't feel like doing that for this video, and this is nothing against Honor, okay? This is a review, sort of the Honor 400 Pro. Now, normally I'd be sitting in the studio and talking to you about the specs and the highlights and the camera, the fact I don't do benchmarks and yada yada yada, and then comparing it against something else and saying whatever. Doesn't feel right to do that this time. And the reason for that, and I think if any fellow reviewers are watching this, they'll know exactly what I'm going to say, what I'm feeling. There have been so many smartphone launches this year. It's only May and it feels like it should be at least October, but it's not. And we've had, obviously, most of them, apart from one, which is the iPhone 16e, which I have in my other pocket, most of them have been Android phones. And this is Honor's, is it their second phone of the year? Because we had the Magic 7 Pro earlier this year. No, we've had the 400 Lite as well, which is a great phone, by the way, really impressive for the price. But we've had so many, and what I can't quite work out is whether or not you guys, he says knocking his hat off, whether or not you guys are getting a bit fed up with all this choice. I'm not throwing shade at the brands at all. They have to innovate. They have to keep bringing these things out fairly regularly, because if one does it, the other one does it, and it snowballs. But as consumers, as people who are either looking to buy a new phone or who just love tech, you might just be someone who loves tech. Is it too much? Is there too much choice? And more importantly, what do you want from us as reviewers? What do you want me to say about the Honor 400 Pro? What I can say about it is that it's a really good phone, a really, really good phone. It costs $699 in the UK, but there is a cheaper version. If you go for the Honor 400, the non-Pro version, that's $399, which is really good. Okay, they don't have flagship chips. We'll put the specs for both rather on the screen now so you can see them. So they don't have flagship chips. The camera system isn't as good as the S25 Ultra or the iPhone 16 Pro Max, but it's not going to be, but it's better than the iPhone 16e by quite a distance. So spec wise, it's what you expect really, and it beats Apple at this level. Charging gear isn't something that I think about very often until my phone overheats in the summer and stops charging, or my desk starts to look like a wire jungle. That's where this week's sponsor Toras comes in, because they've sent me two chargers that have made a massive difference. First up, we have the Polar Circle wireless charger. I've been using it with my iPhones and it's been solid. It's Qi 2 certified with 15 watt fast charging, but what really stands out is that built-in cooling fan. It keeps the phone temperature low while charging, which helps with both speed and long-term battery life. And yes, the magnet hold is very strong, and the stand rotates both portrait and landscape, so it's great if you're watching content or hopping on calls. Next up, we have the FlexLine 40 watt dual port USB-C charger. This thing is compact, foldable, and it has a built-in retractable Type-C cable, so it's one less cable to carry about or lose. You get 40 watt total output either as a single fast charge or split across two devices. I've been using it on the go with all of my phones and earbuds, and it's been so convenient. Plus it has Tora Ice cooling tech, which keeps temperatures in check even when fast charging. Also, just a quick heads up, it's a US plug, so if you live outside the States, you need an adapter. Both of these chargers keep things cool, fast, and tidy. To find out more, click that link in the description. Sorry about the wind, by the way, if you can hear it on this mic. It's one of those things. This is about as raw a video as you're ever going to see on this channel, but I just wanted to get this off my mind, really. The other thing about the Honor 400 Pro is that it has all of the AI stuff. It's got loads of AI editing features. There's some pretty cool stuff you can do with changing photos into videos, all the object removal stuff, remove reflections, all the things we know about. AI, once again, I'm fairly bored of, to be completely honest. It's there, it works, but the more of the regular people in my life that I talk to, friends, family, every time I meet them actually, these days I say, are you bothered about AI? Does it mean anything to you? What do you use? And some people say, what? Others, like this weekend, my girlfriend's dad mentioned that he used the object eraser thing to get rid of something in a photo, but he said that's the only time he's ever done it and can't imagine he'll need to do it again. I've said this before, it feels like a bit of an arms race, a tech arms race to beat each brand to beat each other, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's just almost infighting. It's impressive, but the practical use cases and applications for AI, I think, are limited, to be honest. But you can get it in a quite sub 1,000 UK pounds smartphone from Honor, which is fantastic. I love what Honor does. I think they make very nice looking phones. The Honor 400 Pro is a decent looking phone. It's well built. It's got a fantastic display. You know this. It's got a 120 Hertz variable refresh rate, very bright. That's how many nits it's got. It's loads of nits, and it's a million times better than the iPhone 16, which is probably actually its nearest competitor, to be honest. That's all regular stuff though these days. I'm glad they're doing it, but it's regular. It's what we expect. Let's get out of that wind. I know how annoying that's going to be for you guys. The other thing I'm not sure about with this video is how Honor is going to take it. You may or may not be aware that when we get sent devices for review, we get sent normally a review guide, which is basically a very handy, to be fair, document that has all of the main features and stuff that the brand thinks we might want to feature in our review. We don't have to, there's no obligation, and they certainly don't tell us what to say or give us any kind of lead on the opinion. It's just, here's what it does, off you go. I've not read that. I did have a press briefing, which was very useful. Again, I'm not really featuring much of that information in this video because I don't think you need to know that today. I think a lot of the stuff that the Honor 400 Pro does, like I mentioned earlier, is kind of expected. It's just doing it in a very affordable package, which is fantastic. And you will do your own research. There's already, this is the other problem, there's loads of loads of reviews out there of this phone because it's been released elsewhere. Other people have had it earlier than me. I don't want to just sit there and read off a spec sheet or read off a review guide, because that isn't of benefit to you whatsoever. What I do want to say is, if you're looking at an Android phone this year, add the Honor 400 Pro to your list. The Pro is ideal if you want the best kind of mid-range type device in Android land. The regular non-Pro 400 is fantastic if you just want a phone that is really good in terms of battery, display, and has a fairly decent camera system, but you don't want to spend over 400, 500 pounds or dollars on it, basically. That is if it's available in your region. By the way, that's the other thing, I've said dollars there. It depends where you live in the world. Availability, that's over to Honor. Yeah, I don't know whether they're going to like this review or not. I hope they do. I like Honor. I've got a very good relationship with them, that they get devices to me early, but I'm an independent reviewer, and when I looked at this phone, I just thought, I've done so many phone reviews this year. I don't want to do it paint by numbers with these reviews anymore. It's not the right thing to do. But I will recommend phones like the Honor 400 Pro simply because they do exactly what you expect them to do. It's as simple as that. And I want to know from you guys, this is where I turn this over to you. I want to know in the comments, one, are you tempted by the 400 Pro? I'd love to know what you think about it. Get involved with that. But equally, what do you want from smartphone reviews this year and 2026 and 2027? There's some very interesting stuff on the horizon. We have the S25 Edge from Samsung. If you missed my preview of that, I had hands-on with it a couple of weeks ago in London. We'll put a link at the end of this video so you can watch that one. There's potentially an iPhone 17 Air on the horizon. Who knows what Honor is going to do next? They've done some incredible things with foldables. The V3 is just crazy in terms of how thin and amazing that thing is. But what do you want from reviews? What do you want from people like me and Patrick Rambles and Pete Matheson and Alex Gear and Tech and the bigger guys, Tom Tech Chap? What do you want us to do? I don't want to be doing paint by numbers reviews anymore. But anyway, the Honor 400 Pro is a fantastic phone. Add it to your list.